Olá, boa noite, gente. Boa noite, boa noite. Testando o som, por favor, se vocês puderem me confirmar. Desculpe pelo atraso. Se vocês puderem confirmar o som. Boa noite, Felipe. Desculpe pelo atraso aí, gente. Tive uns probleminhas técnicos aqui, mas agora eu já matei a charada aqui do programa que a gente utiliza e isso não irá acontecer de novo. Então, gente, vocês estão vendo minha tela, né? A tela está sendo compartilhada, né? Então, beleza. Bom, gente, vamos iniciar aqui. Estamos no nosso sexto chat da área Vai lá e fala, perdão, que fica dentro da área Vai lá e faz, né? Nós vamos, hoje nós iremos falar sobre a queda da taxa Selic, conceito de giro do patrimônio, a relação da renda fixa com a inflação. Claro que vai ser em inglês, só esperar mais alguns minutinhos e antes eu vou dar alguns avisos, tá? Então estamos no nosso sexto chat da área Vai lá e fala, onde estamos estudando línguas, né? E no chat de hoje eu vou estar falando sobre educação financeira, mas vai ser em inglês para a gente poder praticar aqui não só o vocabulário dessa área, como também a escuta de vocês. E por favor, peço que vocês façam perguntas em inglês, ok? Então eu sou Marcelo Maciel, boa noite, sejam bem-vindos. E antes eu queria divulgar aqui o Anjos da Bastter, como eu estou fazendo sempre. É o nosso projeto aqui de ajuda, né? Estamos com 4 projetos aí. O do judô é um que eu administro, onde a gente ajuda uma judoca daqui de Brasília a treinar e viajar para as competições. Tem uma que a gente ajuda gatos e cachorros de rua e também para resgatar, cuidar e adotar, né? Tem a doação para pagar a escola de 2 crianças, que também já fechamos para o próximo ano. E tem a biblioteca que está sendo construída aí, estamos doando livros para a biblioteca que está sendo construída em uma escola lá no Paraná. Beleza? Então, gente, exatamente, Lucas. Eu vou estar mudando aqui agora. O nosso chat ele é em inglês, né? Então peço que vocês façam as perguntas em inglês para não só para vocês, como todo mundo que está participando praticar. So guys, I'm gonna switch now for English, and we are getting started today. Today we are gonna talk about the fall of interest rates. Right now it's in 5%, I guess, and we are gonna talk about also about the concept of spin-off equity and the correlation between fixed income and inflation, right? So of course, you guys can ask me anything during the chat. Okay, so let's get started. I think everybody know already, even if you don't follow the news about economy here in Brazil. In some part, maybe at your work or maybe in Instagram, maybe on Twitter, anywhere, any social network that you're gonna see in the news, you're gonna see something about the fall of the interest rates here in Brazil. That was in 5.5, I guess, and then now it is in 5%. And of course, there is a lot of news over it because the small fishes are all get very excited about it, right? So let's talk a little bit about this. and try to understand a little bit why is the central bank making these interest rates lower and lower. And anyway, so guys, let's get started here a little bit. Here in Brazil, we work with inflation goals, okay? What does it mean? It means that Brazil every year decides a goal for the inflation rate, right? So for example, let's see what's the goal for the inflation rate in Brazil is. Let's go for the central bank website, see if we can. Okay, so here goal, all right, 4.25. There is a tolerance here of 1.5. Anyway, so 4.25 is the goal for the inflation rate in Brazil this year. So 2019, it's gonna be 4.25. Okay, so the central bank has some tools, some mechanisms to try to keep the country in this inflation rate, right? So for example, he can control the interest rate, which is the taxa Selic, right? Which is now in 5%. He has another mechanism that he can print money. He can buy US dollars, right? Anyway, the central bank has some tools to control the inflation rate, but the most common, right? It's the interest rate. It's easier to go up or to make it go down. So here we see there is a big correlation between the interest rates, right? I'm gonna use just taxa Selic, okay? Selic and inflation. Generally speaking, if the inflation goes up, the Selic is gonna go up also. Of course, it's not gonna be on the same proportion, but usually if the inflation explodes, it's common for the Selic to explode, okay? It happens in Argentina in a few months back, okay? And of course, if the inflation keeps going down, if it's controlled, it's normal for the central bank to make the interest rate, the Selic, goes down also, all right? So that's what it's happening right now. Let's see how much the inflation is right now. Here, the inflation is 2.54. Okay, so right now, the inflation, the goal it's 4.25, but right now it's 2.54%, right? And the Selic is in 5%. So that's it. That is a big correlation. Okay, so people usually get hysteric because the Selic is going down or the Selic is going up. There is a motive for that, and most of all, it's going to be related with the inflation, right? But there's something that people don't pay attention, which is the difference. Okay, the difference between the main rate, nominal rate, I can put it this way, nominal rate, and the real rate, okay? So there is a formula. You have some multiplications about it, but I'm gonna use the easy one. So we have the nominal rate, which it's gonna be the real rate plus the inflation, okay? And what does it mean? It means that the taxa Selic right now, it's 5%. This 5%, it is the nominal rate, okay? It's not the real rate. The real rate, you gotta discount the inflation, okay? So it's pretty easy. This is in. So it's pretty easy, guys. We just gotta to find the real rate. We just gotta put the nominal rate here, and then discount the inflation, right? To make it easy, I'm gonna put just 2.5, and the real rate it's gonna be 2.5%. So this is gonna be the real income. We can put it this way: the real earning of your fixed income applications. Okay, it's gonna be 2.5. Why do people think when they say that when the inflation, for example, if the inflation goes up, the Selic is gonna go up also, right? But what they don't pay attention, it's when the Selic goes up, it's the nominal rate. It's the nominal rate, right? And when the nominal rate goes up, you're gonna pay more taxes, all right? Because the IRS, right? The IRS, which is our Receita Federal, is gonna consider the nominal rate as earnings, okay? Consider the nominal rate as earnings. What does it mean, guys? Earnings. So for example, you have like 10%. No, let's take this today. You have 5%, okay? And you have the real rate and you have the inflation. Here, you're gonna pay taxes. You're gonna pay taxes over 5%, okay? It's the nominal rate, right? But if the inflation goes up, inflation up and Selic up, for example, it's gonna go to 10%, the real rate, because the inflation went to 5%, for example. Now you're gonna pay taxes over 10%. Okay, so you're gonna this is one of the worst consequences of inflation. It's because the taxes become higher. Okay, you're gonna pay more taxes with the inflation when the inflation is higher. So there is a big relation between, in general speaking, if the inflation goes up, the Selic goes up too, but the taxes goes up too, right? So you gotta check this correlation to see if the real rate is gonna get higher or not. This is the important thing. Okay, so why when people say that now the Selic is down is a bad thing? This is wrong news, right? This is not a bad thing. Usually when the Selic goes down, it's because the inflation is down and now you're gonna pay less taxes. In general speaking, maybe you're gonna get a higher income, okay? Your application, the fixed income is gonna get higher, okay? So let me see if we have some questions, and then I'm gonna show you a table that I made. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Yeah, interest rate is the Selic in Brazil. Okay, exactly. News are unavoidable. It's gonna get you anytime. Okay, question, tracking all my family expenses for years, I could confirm that National Consumer Price Index, okay, the inflation, does not represent my personal inflation. Yes, of course, it's probably gonna represent only, we usually say that it represents only the inflation of the president of Brazil, because he doesn't pay for anything, in general speaking. So anyway, definitely it's not our inflation. Let's say a more representative inflation for my family is 8%. Buying long-term government bond, paying IPCA plus 3 yield would still be a good investment. Okay, let's talk a little bit about it. First of all, We can go back to the table later. Let's try to answer here the question that Felipe made. Felipe, I don't know for how long you follow the Bastter.com, but one of the first things that we teach here is that the return rate, it doesn't matter, okay? If you focus on the return rate, if you choose an investment based on the return rate, your problem won't be managing risk control adequately, okay? So let's get back to the whiteboard here and try to explain a few things, okay? Okay, fixed income. What is it good for? Okay, the fixed income. The fixed income in general, it has three goals. Okay, three goals. The first one, okay, the first one, it's gonna be the emergency fund. All right, it's gonna be the emergency fund, reserva de emergência. Okay, why do we say that it's gonna be on savings, on your savings account? Why? Savings, poupança, okay guys? Because you need two things, okay? You need to be in a safe place, so that's why we say it's gonna be on a savings account in a big bank, all right? Bradesco, Banco do Brasil, or Itaú. And also you gotta have, let's put here, safe place, and also you gotta have liquidity. You gotta have immediately access. So you need to, your emergency fund gotta be in a place that you can access in a Sunday evening, okay? That's why we say that it's gonna be in a savings of a big bank, all right? The second goal of fixed income, it's short-term goals, okay, with short-term goals with a definition price, okay. For example, it makes savings to exchange your car or to make a trip, to remodel your home, to make a party, to make a 15 year old 15-year-old party for your daughter, you know. If you have like if you have a date that is defined, okay, I'm gonna exchange my car 4 years from now, I'm gonna make a trip to the World Cup 4 years from now, you gotta put on the fixed income, okay. And the last one, oh, okay, and here you're gonna put in the Tesouro Selic, okay guys. Why am I gonna put in Tesouro Selic? Because it's a safe place, it's the safest financial application here in Brazil. It's what we call zero risk, next to zero risk, okay. And you lose some liquidity, but you don't need it, right? You can rescue your application in 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, right? Okay, so and the last one, it's gonna be short-term protection, right? Short-term protection. And here it's gonna be on Tesouro IPCA plus the longest without coupon, okay? Why is that? First of all, what is short-term protection? It's when you have the volatility of the variable income stocks, for example. You gotta keep it together, right guys? You're not gonna sell your stocks because the market is going down, because we know about the Bastter philosophy, we know how to do the buy and hold, right? The short term volatility, volatility that happens in the variable income in the stock market, it's not gonna make you sell your stocks, because the short term, it's not based on the fundamentals of the company, right? That's what we study here. So, but we know that it's not an easy thing, okay? It's not an easy thing to do. So we gotta have like a psychological anchor. We gotta have some equity in a safer place, as a short term speaking, that it's gonna be on the Tesouro, Tesouro IPCA Plus, the longest, and without coupon. So you won't gonna be spending your equity, right? So this is the 3 goals of the fixed income. None of them I talk about return rate, okay? None of them I'm talking about the return rate, because the return rate, it doesn't matter if the Tesouro Selic goes up or goes down. It's gonna be the same thing, because these 3 goals that I have, they haven't changed, okay? They haven't changed. Here I'm not searching for a return rate, because I don't know what's gonna be. I don't know the future, right? My emergency fund is gonna be here because I need a safe place and I need liquidity, okay? My short-term goals, it's gonna be on Tesouro Selic, because I'm gonna end up with more equity than on savings account. And the short-term protection, about the same thing, okay? If nothing happens and I don't need to rescue my application here, I'm gonna end up with more equity. That's why I put here in Tesouro IPCA Plus. So, Felipe, asking your question, the return rate, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. What's the answer to a good investment? A good investment, it's the one that checks your goals, okay? If you want to accumulate equity, so the good companies on the stock market, the Brazilian ones or abroad, it's gonna be the good investment if you feel good about it, okay? And the good investments on the fixed income, it's the one that you are making risk control. You are making good risk control, okay? You are not focused on return rate, because it doesn't matter, okay? And this is why it's gonna be a good investment, okay? You gotta check your planning to define what you want on the fixed rate, on the fixed income, and what you want in the variable income, okay? Let's to the next question. It's possible to the income go down as the Selic goes down? As you said, it is possible to your income goes up as the Selic goes down, but is it a rule? Okay, let's try. It's not a rule. The closure for this, it's not a rule. And now let me explain that with this table here, okay? Let me get a zoom here. Okay, guys, is everyone seeing this table? It's a historic values from 2014 and 2018. Let's try to understand something here. Our year base is going to be 2014, okay? So 2014, the inflation was 6.40 and the Selic was 10.46, okay? The real return rate, it was 4, okay? What happened the following year, okay, 2015? The inflation exploded, okay? It went to 6 to 10. What happened to the Selic rate? It went up also. Of course, if the inflation goes up, the Selic rate is gonna go up also. Now, check the real rate. The real rate went down. It went from 4 to 2.5, okay? So, in 2015, it was a bad thing. Why? Because your real earnings from the fixed income went down, okay? Now, let's see what happened in 2016. 2016, the inflation, it went down. It went from 10 to 6, right? What happened to the Selic rate? It went up, okay? Why it went up? We don't know. The government wanted to make it went up, okay? We cannot predict this thing. but it went up. And of course, now here, the real rate went up also, okay? So here happened the direct proportion between the Selic rate and the real rate, right? The nominal rate and the real rate. But what happened later on? What happened in 2017? Here is a funny thing. The inflation went real up, okay? Went down, oh, I'm sorry, went real down 3 times less. It went to 6 to 2, 2.21. What happened to the interest rates? The Selic, the nominal rate. It went to 10. From 14 went to 10. Probably here in 2017, people were gonna say, let me write here, probably 2017, the inflation went from 6 to 2. And the Selic went from 14 to 10, right? Everyone was talking about it, the same thing that they are talking today, okay? Since the Selic went down, now the fixed income has lost its value. That's what people say, right? Since the Selic went down, now the fixed income has lost its value, okay? Guys, this sentence here, it doesn't make any sense, okay? It doesn't make any sense. Why? Who determines what is value to me? What is valuable to me? It's me, okay? It's not the experts from the stock market, okay? But what happened here? The inflation went down, the Selic rate went down, but the real rate went from 7.4 for 7.7, okay? 7.4 for 7.7. So it went up. It was better, okay? It was better. It was even better because I pay less taxes. I pay less taxes here because the nominal rate went down, okay? So here we see that is a reverse. It's proportional, but it's reverse, okay? The correlation between the real rate and the Selic rate was reverse. And now, what happened in 2018? The inflation went up, almost double. It went to 2 from 3. But the Selic went down again, okay? The inflation went up and the Selic went down and the real rate went really down. So guys, this is the answer. There is no rule, okay? There is no rule. In general, there is a correlation, but we cannot predict it, okay? So there are no rules between the real rate and the Selic, okay? Usually when the inflation goes down, the Selic rate is gonna go down also, but in general there is no rule, okay? Sometimes it doesn't work that way. All right, so let's get back here. I hope I answered your question, Peter. Go for value. Joel Santana mode on. Okay, that's why we're here. Let's get this English better. Yours and mine, of course. Saving an account, have liquidity even on Saturday night, of course. Exactly. Philippe asked another question. So short-term protection is to protect yourself during stock market bear market. Yes, exactly. This is the definition of short-term protection. And the best place to be, it's in Tesouro IPCA plus the longest and without coupon. I am investing 100% in variable income. Okay, I don't think this is a good investment philosophy. Usually when people do that, it's when the stock market it's going up. For example, 100,000 points, and the Selic rate it's going lower and lower. So maybe with this mindset, when the market turns, maybe you can simply start changing your mind about these percentages. Anyway, I think it's very important to have some equity in the fixed income. Okay. Fixed income are up to get some peace to our interior. Exactly, it's the psychological anchor that we are talking about. What's the meaning of real you were talking about? Okay, let's get back here a little bit. Flavio, I don't know what time did you got in the chat, but the real rate that I was talking about, it's this. You have the nominal rate, okay, and you have the real rate. Uh, in a simpler equation, okay, this is not the exactly right equation, okay. The nominal income, it's going to be the real rate. I'm sorry, the nominal rate is going to be the real rate plus the inflation, okay? When you discount the inflation from the nominal rate, the Selic, you're going to have the real rate. It's going to be 2.5%. And if you discount the taxes here, you're going to have the liquid. You're going to have the liquid rate, okay? This is the real rate that I was talking about. That's because I'm poor, and if I lose everything, I'm still be poor. Okay, I think you gotta change a little bit your thoughts about it. Okay, and start looking for new ways to make another source of incomes. Okay. James is saying that what would be a minimum monthly value to invest abroad? Right now, I'm only investing in Brazil. So, James, here we gotta use the common sense, okay? The good sense, the common sense. It's one of the most important things when we are investing, okay? The common sense. I'm sorry, not common sense, good sense, okay? Good sense. You're asking me, where is it? You're asking me a minimum value to invest abroad. Okay, here is the good sense. Okay, for example, if you think $300, if you think $200 is a lower value because you're gonna pay an amount here of to make the transfer wise, and you want to wait another month of 300 to make it 500 600 and make the transfer. Here it's what we say, potato potato, okay, tomato tomato, whatever. I think there is no value, okay, if you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable, make a transfer of $100 or $50, and if you're able to cover your costs, your expenses abroad, and to become shareholders of a good company, I think it doesn't have a minimum value. Okay, just use the good sense. All right, just use good sense. If you transfer $100, for example, what can you do with that? You're gonna buy like four shares of Rawlings, for example, Rawlings Inc. And you're gonna pay $2.5 US of taxes, fees and taxes. If you think that's okay, that's not a problem. All right. If these fees, these taxes for $100 doesn't bother you, this is not a problem. Okay. This is a whole psychological. But if you think $100 it's a small amount and you want to wait 4 months to make a transfer for $400, you can do it. Okay. Actually, it doesn't matter this much. Exactly, Charlito. I agree with that. Who doesn't respect little money will ever have any money. Okay. I can make next chat. Maybe I can make a chat about the secretary that bought 3 shares of a company, After 60 years, she was millionaire. So I truly believe that the buy and hold philosophy, the Bastter philosophy, is for everyone. It doesn't matter how much your salary is, if you're rich or poor. I think everyone is able to save 100 reais every month and start making their own investments. I really believe that. But it's not an easy thing to make others believe that. Okay, let's keep going. And we have several actions on sale today, thinking long term. Several actions on sale. I don't know what does it mean, Lucas. Okay, actions on sale. I really don't know what does it mean. Anyway, uh, good evening, Sachiberian. Who is presenting today? Sorry, I'm new here. So, Felipe, my name is Marcelo. Okay, I am the I am the consultant of the sector Valai Fala, which is the sector about languages. All right, we are in our sixth chat, and it's in English because this sector is for us to study English. Okay. Uh, anyway, let's get back here. Good evening, everything bubble guy. Yeah, this is a joke about Sochibarian, right? Yeah, you can use Remaster Online, low cost, transfer-wise, best of the best. Do you guys know about P2P lending? No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Do you think bonds still make any sense today? Treasury bonds, definitely. Okay, that's the whole idea of this chat. If you got on the chat here a few minutes, maybe you can watch it later again. I explain the goals that involves the fixed income. So the treasury bonds are always gonna make sense in our philosophy. Okay, the fixed income doesn't work for accumulate equity and to build wealthy for in the future. This wealthy gives us a passive income, right? It doesn't work for that, but it works for the other things. Okay, emergency fund, the protection of short term. Okay, and our goals for short term. All right. Hi Senecino, pleasure to have you here. uh, okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your participation here. Okay, James is saying something. I was reading about rates and it's not clear the difference between rates and simple real estate. Can you explain that? James, I'm not gonna be able to explain that for you right now for two reasons. One, um, my my knowledge for investing abroad it's limited, so I've never studied about rates. Okay, the real estate sector, uh, it's a sector that I don't like it. Okay, even in Brazil, I think it's more complicated. It demands more study. Okay, so for me right now it doesn't have much value. Okay, so today I only study the Brazilian companies and the stocks abroad. But you can reply your questions for Woya, which is our consultant. But I cannot answer that. Okay. Uh, oh, okay. So Charlito is trying to explain what Lucas said before. Okay, let's change stocks for actions for stocks here to see if it make any sense. And we have several stocks on sale today, thinking long term. Okay, so Lucas, maybe if you are saying there are stocks on sale, maybe you are making reference that there are some stocks that is with a lower price, maybe. So we don't consider that. Okay, here in Bastter.com, we don't consider the prices of stocks and of the shares in general, because to us the prices doesn't matter. Okay, especially on a long term speaking. Okay, there are a lot of studies of that, a lot of explanations, and it's very important to understand this perspective that the prices are not important, because in a long term, if you're buying every month consistently, okay? And the price is not gonna matter to us. So the terms cheap stocks and expensive stocks, it doesn't exist, okay? Uh, I believe in the Barca philosophy. I have 100% equity and I am buying and holding. I will make my emergency reserves when I have more money. Okay, actually the emergency fund, it's the first step, okay? Uh, okay, Charlito, the pronounce it's Ritz. Okay, thank you very much. I actually didn't know that. Okay. Uh, anyway, uh, Lucas, the emergency fund, it's the first step. Okay, let's try to make a when we talk about investments. Okay, to to start investing. Okay, of course you gotta have an income, right? You gotta have an active income from your work, your job. Anyway, later on, you gotta save money, right? To start investing, you gotta have an active income because sometimes there are people who are unemployed and have like a savings fund, and he's gonna ask, "Oh, I'm now unemployed. Where I'm gonna put my money?" Your money is gonna stay on a place that you can access the easiest way, right? You're not gonna talk about investment if you are unemployed. It makes no sense. Okay. So to start investing, you gotta have an active income. Then you gotta save money. Then you gotta build your emergency fund. Later on, you're gonna pay your debts, right? If after you do all of that, you're gonna start investing, okay? A percentage in fixed income and percentage in variable income. All right? This is the steps to start investing, guys. Of course, you got to study, right? I'm just saying money-wise, all right? Anyway, let's get back here. Any thoughts about ETFs? Do you think they are good? No, I don't think they are good. I think ETFs makes no sense. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. ETF rhymes with trash because guys, think about it. You are studying. You have the information here in Bastter.com. You have the ability to study and to decide which companies are good, which companies are bad, and to invest on the good ones. Why are you gonna put your money in a package that has good stuff and bad stuff? It makes no sense, guys. Okay. Uh, I'm just an intern. All my salary is for investing. Okay, that's awesome. If you still live with your parents and you have no expenses, okay, that's very good. But I think you still gotta have some money on the with easy access. Okay, for example, I don't know if your friends decide to make a trip that it's a little bit more expensive, and you really want to go. You're gonna sell your stocks for that. Okay, your problem is gonna it's not gonna be a good decision. Okay. Uh, anyway, I think it's very important to have a percentage of your equity in the fixed income. Senesine is saying there are some differences between REITs and real estate. Yes. Roy is able to explain them to you more widely. Yes. Um, so guys, I wanted to talk a little bit. I'm sorry about the delay. Okay, I have some technical problems, but I promise that I already know how to fix it for the next time. So I'm gonna be here for a few minutes. If you guys have more questions, okay, take your time and you can ask me about anything. And let me talk a little bit about the next chat, okay? That it's gonna be on next Monday. So next Monday at 6:30, okay? The date it's gonna be the 18th, right? November 18th. So guys, like I said in the last chat, let me show you guys here. Not here, just a second. Let me go to the gallery. I want to show you the last chat, okay, that I made last week, I'm sorry. So guys, this chat here that I'm showing, interview with Anthony, citizen from Trinidad and Tobago. It was an interview that I made with this guy. He lives here in Brazil. And since I talked before, I'm trying to make interviews with foreigners that live here so we can exchange experiences and know a little bit from the countries, okay? I'm trying to get in touch with the ambassadors here in Brasilia to see if I can manage to get an interview with them and talk about language, talk about their country. So this interview with Anthony was the first one that I got it. Okay, he's from Trinidad and Tobago. It was very interesting. We can learn a lot from his experience of life and about his country also. And in this line of work, the next chat, okay, the next chat that is gonna be on November 18th, it's gonna be with French, French sommelier, okay, that lives here in Brazil, okay. So of course we are gonna be talking about wine, okay. So if you enjoy wine, it's gonna be interesting to learn a little bit. The chat's gonna be in French, okay, guys. Since he's from France, the interview is gonna be in French, and I think it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be different from the chats that we made, okay. So that's what I'm trying to do to get foreigners that so we can discuss different topics here, okay. Let's get back here with the chat. So another question from James. At USA, there are lots of good companies to invest and diversify. Yes, definitely, right? If you close your criteria here, and for example, if you manage to create like a portfolio, a Brazilian portfolio with 50 companies, probably if you take the same criteria and take it abroad to the USA, you're probably gonna put 20, 100, 200 companies in your portfolio, right? It's for diversification, it's pretty awesome. What are you think about a diversified portfolio? This is our risk control, right, guys? To answer this question, let me get here. So risk control for the amateur, me, you, most of the people from Bastter.com. Risk control for the amateur investor. What is the name? Diversification, right? Diversification for many reasons, okay? For many reasons. First of all, we don't know the future, right? And we know we don't know the future. We don't try to predict the future like some other places, some other experts, right? We don't know the future. So good companies today can be bad companies tomorrow, right? Good companies that are making profits for the last 20 years can become a bad company for the next 5 years. We don't know. So we don't know the future. Second one, less information, okay? For example, I don't want to know everything about all the companies, right? I don't want to know everything about it because I don't need it, okay? In my philosophy, I don't need it to know everything about the companies. So I know the basics to maintain a buy and holding, to be able to make the buy and holding, right? So we are gonna have less information. And So what do we need to do to be protected of all these things? Diversification. We're gonna have a small percentage in each company, right? A small percentage. For example, 1%, 2%. If a company fails and I lose 2% of my equity, of course, it's not a good thing, but it's in my risk control, okay? We know that we are not going to be successful in all of our investments during our life, right? It's impossible, okay? One investment is going to go wrong, or a few investments in our life, it's going to go wrong. But if we have a small percentage, it's inside our risk control, okay? That's why diversification is so important. Okay, let's get back here. Is treasury bonds a good choice for long term? Okay, Flavio. I don't have time to explain everything, but we gotta know to accumulate equity in a long term, okay, the treasury bonds doesn't work for that, okay? It doesn't work for that because the principal doesn't grow like in a variable income, okay? I can explain it later in another chat. But to accumulate equity in a long term, you gotta go to stocks, you gotta go to real estate, okay? You gotta go to real estate funds because they are variable, okay? They are variable income. Treasury bonds, they are fixed income. So they are for other things, okay? They are for short-term goals, Tesouro Selic. They are for our protection, IPCA plus, the longest without coupon, okay? And the third goal for the fixed income is the emergency fund, but it's not going to be on treasury bond. It's going to be on savings account, okay? Is treasury bonds a good choice for the long term? Go to the beginner's manual. I visit there all the time. Thank you, Jane. Okay. Is there something similar to B3 Investor Portal abroad? I'm not sure what you mean by these questions, James. Is there something similar to B3 Investor Portal abroad? If you're saying, because in the US you have multiple stock exchange markets, right? Here we have only one. I'm not sure I understand your question. I prefer stocks in the foreign market, okay. Lucas, I think it's not interesting to diversify when you're not investing a lot of money. Bet on reliable small caps, buy fundamentalist analysis, and cross your fingers. Lucas, I'm sorry to say that, but I think you are still making a few confusions about the philosophy behind investing, okay? Investments, all right? Investments. They are not to make money, okay? They are not to make money. There are people that makes money with investments. Yes, there are the professionals who makes that, or there are people who already has a big wealth, okay, already accumulated too much equity on their life, and now they live from passive income, okay? Those people, they make money from investments, okay? But we are not there yet, especially you that said that you are an intern, right? So investments, we have only one goal, okay? One goal, which is accumulate equity, okay? And to accumulate equity, you gotta have consistency, okay? You gotta put your money on the stock market every month consistently, okay? That's what's gonna make you rich. That's what's gonna make you build wealth through the years, okay? And it doesn't matter how much money you have, okay? The diversification doesn't have a relation with how much money you got, okay? It has relation with the things that I raised. I'm sorry guys, let me get back here. I don't know why I raised that, but diversification, it has with two things. Don't know the future and less information about companies, okay? This is risk control. This is risk control, okay? So first, I think you gotta understand what risk controls means, okay? You gotta understand this. Then you gotta understand the philosophy about investments to accumulate equity, and then you can talk about make money, okay? Did you already read Os Axiomas de Zurich? Yes, I have. Okay. Probably maybe the biggest not applicable book in the world. Okay. This is pure theory. Okay. It makes no relation with the things that you need to know, the things that you need to know to make any investments. Okay. Let me give you some advice, Lucas. You can come here in Cultural, okay? And you can check the books that we have here in Bastter.com, okay? Please read all these books, especially the ones from Bastter, okay? Read all of them. The Bastter Philosophy, The Dream, Survival in the Stock Market. I want to be rich. This is the most important, okay? This is the most important one. I want to be rich from Bastter. Later on, you can come here in Gallery, and there is a chat that I talk about all of these books and the ones that doesn't make any sense for us, but it's very famous, okay? You can come here to make a filter in the videos. You can put here Marcelo Maciel, search. You see here books about investments. I suggest you watch this chat where I talk about books, okay? And it's like what I try to do here is separar o joio do trigo, okay? So the books that you need to know to start investing and the ones that you don't need to know, but it's pretty famous in the financial world, okay? So let's get back here. Let's get back here to the chat. Exactly, this is not a good book, okay? Axiomas de Zurich. So Flavio is asking, what percentage should I have in stocks, bonds, and fees for the long term? So Flavio, you gotta understand something. This is a personal question, okay? It's impossible for me to answer. But what do you need to understand about percentage, okay? I think if you are a beginner, it's prudent to start with 10%, for example, in fixed income, and I'm sorry, the opposite, okay? 90% in fixed income and 10% in stocks, okay? This is my opinion. Once you're getting more experience, okay? More experience, more equity, because as time goes by, you're gonna be I hope you're gonna be making more money. You're gonna having a higher saving rate. You're gonna having more equity. Okay. Since you're having more equity, you are gonna be able to start changing those percentages, okay? And then maybe you can become like 7% in fixed income and then 30% in stocks. And then you keep going, okay, until you make 50-50. Okay, guys, this is very personal, okay? You gotta find your balance. You gotta find your perfect point of those percentages, okay? And it doesn't matter if you have more percentage in stocks or you have more percentage here in Brazilian stocks, okay? You're gonna decide that. I have read all Bastter books. It was a game changer in my life for sure. Definitely, it is a game changer. I totally agree with you. James, okay, yeah, that's a very personal question. I think the percentage is totally linked with your experience as an investor and how much equity you have already accumulated, okay? Yes, of course. In your diversification, you put here the real estate funds, right? B3 stocks, real estate, all of them. So guys, I thank you very much for your time. Okay, in not a few minutes, but today we are going to still have the chat from Fernando, right? And thank you very much for your collaboration and your participation. I apologize for the delay that I had. I had some technical problems in the beginning. So we're going to be here next Monday from 6:30 at 6:30, but next Monday the chat's going to be in French, okay guys? If you want to learn a little bit, we are going to talk about wine because the interview is going to be with wine sommelier, okay, from France. Thank you very much. Hi Aline, pleasure that you're here. Okay, Flavio, welcome. Okay, we are going to be here every Monday. Sometimes we're going to be talking in French, sometimes we're going to be talking in English. Okay, good night to you all. Until next Monday.